Hi guys. I just realized how bright that window is sometimes, so I pulled the shade to see if it made the light any better. Always learning. This book is called Yanosh's Island by Yossi Abolafia. Abolafia. That's a hard name to say. And this must be Yanosh. Hmm. Well, I don't even know what that is. There's the title, there's the author. That looks like some sort of a toast contraption. Vicky and David lived in a small town near a beach. One afternoon, they found a broken mechanical turtle. They took it apart to fix it, but it was so full of springs and nuts and bolts that they couldn't make head or tail of it. This is a job for Yanosh, said Vicky. He can fix anything. I wonder if I'm saying his name right. Do you know anyone named Yanosh or Yanosh? Um, Yanosh's house, I'm going to call him Yanosh. Yanosh's house was right on the beach. There was a garage, a pigeon coop, and a backyard full of old machinery scraps. Look at all that stuff. Ooh, that'd be fun to look through. It's right on the beach. I hope he's in his store, said Vicky. Sometimes he locks himself in his garage for ages and he won't come out. I wonder why, asked David. I don't know, said Vicky. Yanosh was in his store. He was showing some customers his latest invention. A toaster that buttered the toast. When the last customer left, Vicky spread the parts of the broken turtle out on the counter. I'm sorry, said Yanosh, but the store is closed for the day. Please, said Vicky, it will only take you a minute. Yanosh didn't answer. He was staring at the toy. Suddenly, he picked up one of the parts and examined it closely. This is exactly what I've been looking for, he exclaimed. Why? Asked David. What's so special about it? It's an old nut, said Yanosh, and they don't make them like this anymore. May I have it? Sure, but why do you need it? Asked Vicky. Come with me and I'll show you, he replied. They followed Yanosh to his apartment behind the store. He opened a drawer and pulled out a long white scarf. Many years ago, Yanosh began, when I was about your age, I was playing on this very beach. Suddenly, a flying machine appeared out of the blue and landed right at my feet. A pilot wearing a magnificent uniform jumped out. He asked me for a wrench. I ran home and got him one. He poked around in the engine and then he leapt back into the cockpit. Oops. Hop in and I'll take you for a ride, he said. I got in behind him and soon we were flying over the sea. Through the mist I could see a small island. It was incredibly beautiful and green, with a stream running through it. No one knows this island, the pilot said. It's not on the map. If you ever find it again, it will be yours. And he turned the plane around and flew me back to the beach. Can you see the little island? There it is again, just going. He gave me his scarf and took off. and I never saw him again. Yanosh wound the scarf around his neck. I've never stopped thinking about that island, he said, even when I grew up and grew a mustache. I vowed never to shave it off until I found the island again. I taught myself how to fly a plane, and I built one. Only one thing is missing to complete the engine, a nut of this very type. So if you'll excuse me, I have work to do. Well, Vicky and David sat down outside the house. In a little while, Yanosh came out dressed in an aviator's uniform. He hung up a sign that said "Closed for vacation" and locked the door. The children followed him to the garage. Here it is, Yanosh said. Now it is finished. Will it really fly? Asked Vicky. Of course, said Yanosh proudly. David and Vicky helped him tow the plane out of the garage, and Yanosh climbed into the cockpit. I want to thank you both, he said. If you will bring me one of my pigeons when I finish my island, if you will bring me one of my pigeons, when I find my island, I will send you a message. The engine coughed and roared and rattled and rumbled, and the plane lurched up and down, and then it rose in the air. David and Vicky watched it disappear over the horizon before they went home. The next morning they hurried to the pigeon coop, but there was no pigeon with a message. Suddenly they heard the fluttering of wings behind them. They turned quickly, and there was the message. There was the pigeon with a message tied to its leg. When the pigeon landed, they carefully removed the paper. Oops, there you go. Carefully removed the paper. Folded inside were a few gray hairs, but no written message. He must have forgotten to take his pen, said Vicky. What do you suppose this means? The hairs must be from his mustache, said David. He said he wouldn't shave it until he found his island, and he wants us to know that he found it. That's wonderful, said Vicky, but what will become of him? Do you think we'll ever see him again? They walked along for a while, thinking about Yanosh, when suddenly they noticed smoke rising from over the hill and a delicious smell. They climbed to the top of the hill, and down below they spotted bits of machinery scattered near a stream where they sometimes picnicked. They ran down as quickly as they could. Yanosh's uniform was hanging from a tree by the stream. Near it was a campfire, and fishing in the stream stood Yanosh. He was wearing a grass skirt and whistling cheerfully. Yanosh, they exclaimed. Yanosh took down his uniform and vanished behind some bushes. How did you get here? He called. We walked, said David. Your house is just over the hill. Yanosh sat down and held his head in his hand. Then "This is not my island," he said. I flew all night long, and when I saw this beautiful place, I thought I recognized the stream, and I landed at once, right in the middle of it. First thing I wanted to shave off my mustache, but I'd forgotten my razor. I knew you'd understand that the hairs in the note meant I'd found my island, but now I see that I've made a mistake. I haven't found my island at all. But you built a plane that really flew, said Vicky. You should be proud of yourself. And this place is just as good as any island, added David. You are right, said Yanosh. Let's forget about the island and have a picnic. Yanosh fried some more fish while Vicky picked blueberries and David gathered apples. It was a wonderful picnic. Then they headed for home, and suddenly Yanosh bent down and picked up a metal hinge. This is just what I need for the submarine hatch, he cried. What submarine? Asked Vicky and David at the same time. Why, the one I'm about to build, Yanosh replied. It should be finished by next summer, and we can all go look for my island together. The end. Well, I kind of liked it. Did you? All right. Love you. Mwah.